everyone they're after, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell-down.
Get ready to move, get ready to groove, get ready to fly.
Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door, only $29,990. Or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest volume GMC dealer, Motor City.
Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home, Kern Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you, so what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to this edition of Kern High Network Football. I'm Kenny Calvin, joined with my coach, legendary Rick Van Horn. He'll be providing the color for us today. Dr. J providing the production and directing, along with some assistance from Mr. Javier at Kern High Network. We're excited to host you here at Highland High School, where Foothill, who has a field that's being renovated right now, will be the home team, and Arvin, representing the South Sequoia League in this non-league battle, will be our visitors. So, Coach Van Horn, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good tonight on this Friday night. Got a nice little breeze out here in the east side, and I'm ready for some football.
Absolutely. Well, you know, had a little bit of shift in our crew. Mr. Hudgens, you know, fell ill, so I, you know, stepped in to join right. You.
You're with the A-team now.
Yeah, I got the A-team. Hey, you taught me everything I know on the field. I definitely take a tip in the booth, Coach.
That's right.
So, Coach, we got two teams that's coming off losses. They struggled last week to put some consistency together. We got two heavy run teams, both run similar offensive styles. Wing T offense for Foothill, power run system for Arvin, and Coach Edgar Mars. What do you expect to see tonight?
Well, tough old Arvin football, for one. You know, they're going to ground and pound. They're going to throw it when they have to. They've got some kids that are capable on the outside with speed and catch the ball. You know, Foothill's main goal tonight is just to keep possession of that ball. Don't let the Bears have it. In this double wing that they run, it is a time-consuming offense if they do it right, you know. A lot of going forward on fourth down, keeping the ball out of the hands of the opponent. Something new for them.
Absolutely.
You know, with half their roster is sophomores. And like we were talking earlier, if they can stay together in 2 years, these Foothill Trojans are going to make some noise.
Well, you had a great point because we were here during the JV game and we talked about how some of the districts and schools are shrinking down their rosters or their programs. Instead of having a JV football team as Foothill takes the field, they're combining that JV team with the varsity team, and it gives them a more quality approach to the process.
It does. Gives you a bigger roster, gives you more coaches, gives you better quality practices. You know, in any season, you're going to lose some kids to injury. Now with the concussions and that stuff, you're sitting out 2 weeks, so you need some depth on those rosters.
Absolutely, and they definitely have double the output from a program participation standpoint than that Arvin team down on the other end. So thinking about tonight, going into it, we're going to see a lot of heavy run, which is going to mean that we're going to see a quick game with the running clock, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So before we get into talking about our coaches and facility, we want to give a huge thank you to the Kern High Network, to Motor City, Kern Schools, and the greatest college institution in the world, Bakersfield College, where I also host the Renegade Report. And we'll be anxious to see our Renegades take battle versus Mount Sac next week on the most beautiful field in the world. Coach, have you seen the field yet?
I've seen pictures, but I do have two pieces of the turf that somehow my son snaggled away. I don't know how he did it.
Well, hey, you know, when you got special privileges, you get special things. The Van Horn name is consistent with Bakersfield College football.
Yeah.
You know, so excited to have you. We're about 3 minutes away from kickoff. Wondering if Dr. J wants to take us to break before we go to the national anthem, or are we going to be here for the national anthem? Dr. J, what do you think? We can go to break, so we'll be right back with Kern High Network football, Arvin Bears versus Foothill Trojans right after this.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell down.
Ready to move, get ready to groove, get ready to fly.
Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door, only $29,990, or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest volume GMC dealer, Motor City.
Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Kern Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you. So what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
And welcome back, and you're right on time for the national anthem for the greatest country in the universe. We'll step aside and join the field as we say the national anthem. If you don't get goosebumps when that is played before an athletic contest, you may need to check your blood pressure. Welcome to Highland High School for Foothill versus Arvin. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn for this Kern High Network broadcast. Non-league battle. Southeast Sequoia versus South Sequoia, or Southeast Yosemite versus South Sequoia League. Coach, any predictions?
Well, you know, Arvin's coming off a great year last year. They won 7 games last year. You know, they had a tough first week against Highland, who's a very good team, 21-7, competitive game. Foothill, a little different story. 0-10 last year, 0-1 this year, so they're looking for their first win. You know, and we always say, you know, the Trojans can't beat the Trojans tonight.
Absolutely.
So if they can not turn the ball over, keep possession, they're going to be in this game.
Well, one thing both of these teams are never short of is pride and passion. You know, I joked about messing around with old Andy Puget, former number 80 for the Foothill Trojans. And he always said, hey, no matter how good we weren't, we were going to be tough and come out and play. So I expect to see a high-intensity level football game on both sides of the field. And we're preparing for kickoff here at Highland High School, Arvin versus Foothill. kick looked like it's trickling out of bounds for our first penalty. And that'll be moved up, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Arvin heading north. While we have a few seconds, want to definitely give a shout out to Mr. Ed Watts, principal of Arvin High School, along with Stephen Granucci, AP instructor, Robert Moore, AP administrator, Christine Miller, Dean of Students, Ralph Gonzalez, athletic director, and Laura Liera, activities director. 1st and 10 for Arvin. As we talked about, expect to see a lot of heavy run. And they come out in a full house backfield.
Going to see a lot of misdirection, a lot of fly sweep out of Arvin.
And there we go. And Coach called it right away. Quick sweep around the left side. Looks like it's going to be about a 1st down, Coach.
Looked like Junior Castle's out there with a nice run, just a little fly sweep. You see that every Saturday afternoon.
And that's what you do see with a lot of football programs. What's successful on Saturdays, you see that trickle down to our level here in the Kern High Football District, and that was a 11-yard scamper for a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. QB.
That looks like Gil Medina, the quarterback. Medina.
Wow.
I think he got in, huh?
It looks like he got in. Gil Medina with the touchdown.
5'11" senior.
56-yard scamper around the right edge on the QB keeper. Was it a keeper or an inside run?
Well, we talked about it was a quarterback. It was a called play. We talked about a lot of misdirection. You've got
Absolutely.
the fly sweep going by. You've got the running back, and then he keeps it up almost like a quarterback ISO.
Absolutely. Good read option play where you faking that inside run just to get the reaction from that defensive end. And how about that? Arvin with the stunner to get their first touchdown of the night. And the kick is up.
Oh.
Kick is no good. 6-0 for the Arvin Bears. And we'll stay here for a second because that play happened so fast, Coach. We talked about copycat offensive styles, which you can't be mad at something that's successful.
Yeah.
They come out and they go read option both plays. Second play, he makes the decision to keep it.
You might recall those a couple years ago when Oregon had Marcus Mariota.
Absolutely.
They used to run that quite a bit, because he was such a good runner. And Medina seems like he's a pretty good runner. So we'll see how that goes. That extra point looked like it wasn't blocked. He just kicked it into the back of one of his big linemen there.
Yeah, he tried to old school kickball that one, like it was with the old red ball. But more than anything, surprisingly, you get a huge play from an Arvin team that struggled to put any offense together last week. They scored their first points in the first quarter, Coach.
That's right. That's right. Well, like we told you, these guys were a team that went to the semis last year in the playoffs. They were 7-5, so they've got a group of seniors that know how to win.
Absolutely. Tough team, 7-win season last year. After a week like last week, you're looking to come out and have a good performance. You lose 21-6 versus Highland. I'm not sure if the game was here or there. Nonetheless, it's kicked off, and I'm going to see my old client, Tyson Reynolds, with the first kickoff return for the Foothill Trojans. He takes it out to the 34-yard line, maybe the 33. And it looks like we have an Arvin Bear who's down. Number 2, Mario Guillen, the 5'4" junior.
I didn't see what happened. I was watching the returner. He went down quite early on that play.
Absolutely. So while we have an injury down there, we'll take the time to honor some Foothill High administration, starting with Miss Gail Bentley, a principal at Foothill High. Mr. Octavio Patino was the AP instruction. Jody Schubert was the AP administration. Derek Reed, who's the dean of students, who I've had to meet with a couple of times for some clients. Mike Baizad, athletics director. Sorry if I'm torturing these names, guys. Find me later. We'll get you some grapes that I brought up. Soften that emotional spirit. And last but not least, Jennifer West, the activities director for Foothill High School. You know, one of the things that you hate to see with a small roster like a Arvin is one of your starting DBs or even a backup DB getting an injury this early in the first quarter.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
Especially they look like they're working on his knees, so that's never good.
and never good coaching.
But we're talking about Foothill. You know, Tyson Reynolds, who returned that, had a nice little kickoff return there, is one of those sophomores that in 2 years, you know, he might be a force.
Absolutely. And like I told you, watching that kid since he was 12 years old, playing in the Golden Empire League and some of the other leagues, you know, that we have here, the Outlaws and some of the other smaller leagues that we have. You know, these kids have worked their tails off in the classroom to be able to have the opportunity to be out here. So very excited to see the young man perform. And also, it looks like we got some movement here, and we may get our young Arvin football player up on his own power. But you want to take your time when dealing with lower limb injuries. One of the saddest moments of my life, Coach, was having a tight end cut block me on a fumble play, 7th game of my senior year, with 5 scouts in the stands.
Yep.
So I know the feeling, you know, whether it's the first game, second game, or the last one.
That's right.
You know, when you get that injury. You know, so hopefully that young man can get back. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Foothill. They're looking to show what they can do on the offensive end after giving up that big one to Arvin, Coach.
Well, we're going to see their double wing offense. You know, this was brought into Kern County in about late 90s by Wasco. Okay, Wasco started running this double wing. Kind of was brought out of storage from way back in the 30s and 40s, you know, even before that. Very run heavy, very little pass. They don't want to pass if they don't have to.
Yes.
But if done correctly, you'll pull your hair out because it's so
yes,
frustrating.
You will. Yes, you will, Coach. I actually played on a team in college at OBU in Arkansas where we ran heavy veer option.
Okay.
And Coach Jimmy Red Parker lived by that philosophy.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for Foothill. They go toss sweep to the left.
And that's all they want. They want 3 yards. They want 3 yards of play. 3 times 4 is 12 is a first down. So
absolutely.
That's exactly. They got 5 yards there, so they're on pace.
3 yards in a cloud of dust is what they used to say, correct?
And you know, like I do, being DBs, we hate these kind of offenses.
Oh, yes. Long days in the ice bath after this game. 2nd and about 6. And they go power off the left.
2 plays, first down.
As Coach said, quick power play to number 24, Brian Diaz, who they have listed as a receiver, but hey, when you don't throw it, everybody's a running back, Coach.
Right.
1st and 10 for the Foothill Trojans. Tyson Reynolds with the sweep. Nice vision. Patient run for a 1-yard gain. You know, and I just got goosebumps, Coach, seeing him just get an opportunity because like we talked about, I mean, you were my brother's teacher.
Yeah.
You know, you have kids that come in with low expectations in high school, and you wonder what kind of kid they're going to turn into.
That's
Love
right.
seeing these kids out here getting an opportunity. 2nd and 9. They go toss sweep to Deloney. He cuts it up.
I think they're going to be close to a first down there.
About 8-yard gain on that toss sweep.
Yeah.
And one thing I know you appreciate is the fact that instead of trying to continue to stretch it, he stuck his foot in the ground and got upfield.
Got upfield. That's what the double wing's all about. Go north and south.
Third and about 3 for the Foothill Trojans in that double wing.
That's exactly what Foothill wants.
They go power again. Brian Diaz And as Coach Van Horn stated, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They can continue that philosophy. They're going to be able to control tempo, keep the ball out of the opposite opponents, like you talked about in pregame.
That's right. That's right.
1st and 10. You're watching us on Kern High Network. Inside reverse. We got a flag on the play, but Tyson Reynolds showing a little bit of that speed that I talked about. Nonetheless.
Got to bring it back, but that was a great run by Tyson. You know, you peekaboo in there like he does a good job. We saw that. Has patience. Little peekaboo in there with a counter trade there out of the double wing.
Absolutely.
And, pretty good hit by the Arvin Bear laid on him. No, he didn't see him coming, so
great.
He'll learn.
Yes, great hustle by those Arvin DBs, because he actually kicked it into another gear.
Yeah. Little Tyson he'll learn once he gets in that open field, get those eyes on it, get the head on a swivel.
Head on a swivel. I remember you telling Steve Wofford that when we were in high school, because he would run that counter. That was our favorite play back then, and you were his running back coach. So that's going to make it about 1st and 25 after the clip penalty or illegal chop block. They go inside reverse to Deloney. He's wrapped up after a 4-yard gain.
And we talked about the double wing being a lot of math there. 3 yards, 3 yards. The things that can't happen is just that. A 15-yard penalty now to take you back at 1st and 25 because 4 times 3 is 12, and you need 25 here. So
that's great insight.
They're not going to – that kills it. And turnovers do too, but a penalty to really throw that math off.
Absolutely. 2nd and a long 20, and they go reverse to Tyson Reynolds, and he's stopped in the backfield, not just yet. Continuing to chop those feet, but tackled by the captain, number 50, Tony Pantoya.
Arvin's doing a great job these last 2 plays, setting the edge and keeping Tyson and Maloney inside. They want to get outside, but they're making them turn it up where the rest of their band of brothers are coming.
And that's great coaching there when you have your defensive ends being disciplined and not allowing themselves to be reached by the offensive lineman. And we got our first pass of the game. And we have a huge hit by Arvin Bear on his own guy.
Looked like Cesar Venezuela took out, who was that? Angel Torres.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to have a little talk on the sideline or in the locker room here come Monday.
Absolutely, Coach. And you know what that was. That's one of those where you got there and you closed your eyes. Nonetheless, great defensive stand by Arvin because Foothill had some momentum and was actually moving the football until the chop block. High snap. High punt. Takes a Arvin bounce.
Well, you talked about it. Arvin has to play disciplined defense.
Yes.
You know, a lot of counters that come back out of this double wing. They've got to play discipline, and they can't miss a lot of tackles.
Absolutely. And, you know, me personally, I hate seeing this wing T offense because it cost me 2 rings as an opponent. But, you know, as a DB, I had some of my best games because our defensive ends didn't play as well on the outside, and it led to DBs having to try to make a lot of plays in the secondary. But this Arvin defensive line is actually doing a great job up front early.
Yeah. And we're going to throw some love out to that Foothill front line on the offensive line because they moved the ball. They gained 40 yards in that series. Got brought back by the 15-yard penalty, but they're matching up pretty well with Arvin's defensive line.
Absolutely. So now we have the ball moved back to the 25-yard line. Well, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Arvin Bears. And one of the things we talked about the Arvin Bears even from our years, Coach, when you were coaching at the Bakersfield High Drillers, and I was one of your senior starting left corners, and we went up to Arvin to play a game with big heads. And they gave us everything we wanted. We barely escaped out of there with a goal line stance because those guys didn't care who we were. They just put on a tough performance, and that's what you're always going to get out of Arvin High School.
And I still remember taking the driller team back there in '87. Last game of the year, we win that, we go to the playoffs, and they were going to have none of that.
Wow.
They pulled the upset.
1st and 10 for Arvin. Running that shotgun flex bone. Another speed sweep to the left side and a lot of room. Late flag that comes out, but great footwork by number 15, Billy Avila. I said Avila. They said Avala. Avila.
And that's one of the things when you run a fly sweep offense like Arvin's doing, you're going to have a lot of penalties by your wideouts tonight because they have to do a lot of blocking.
Absolutely.
And those guys don't like to do blocking.
And they don't like to do blocking. And that's one of the funny things about that. I talked about my old college experience. My roommate was a wideout. And he was so frustrated with our program because he had so much talent and we never threw the ball.
Right.
And most of his job was blocking. 1st and 15 after the penalty for Arvin. Motion. They go quick pitch to number 33, Angel Torres. And he gets about 7 of that penalty yardage back.
It's a nice tackle by Evan Gallegos, number 5 for Foothill. You know that feeling when that hole opens up, it's just you and that running back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your eyes get big.
Because if you don't do it, it's 6.
Absolutely. 2nd and 9 for the Arvin Bears. Shotgun flex bone. Quarterback on the keeper.
And Medina again.
Right away.
Pulls the smart move there. Get what you can, get out of bounds. It's a long season, it's a long game.
And one thing that we're seeing, Coach, is he's confident in his ability to read that defensive end and whether he keeps it or not. And he's making some good decisions so far with the Arvin Bear offense.
Yeah. He's the leader of their offense. He's a captain. So they've got a lot of trust in him. And like I said, this is a lot of misdirection, a lot of RPO stuff where he's reading, and he's doing a fine job.
Foothill gave up 56 points last week. Looking to give Arvin some momentum after that first down. Got to wonder how that defense is feeling. We get huge penetration by the Foothill defense.
Who was that? 24 for Foothill. Brian Diaz for Foothill.
Team defense for the Trojans.
Made a nice play there. That's what disrupts this wing T when you get penetration like that, especially on the edge.
Absolutely. Great job shooting that B gap, getting there and settling his feet. Great job by the runner as well to try to get back what he could, but nonetheless, 2nd and 13 for the Arvin Bears. Shotgun flex bone. And we'll see our first pass out of Arvin.
24 again. Got a little tip there.
Great job by Diaz being very active, huh, Coach?
It looks like he's about 5'6" out there. I don't know how tall he is. We'll see.
Brian Diaz applying the pressure, number 24 for Foothill.
Oh, they got him listed at 5'8".
Okay, so that means 5'5" in real life. You know, as football players, we want 2 more inches in height.
That's right.
About 5 more inches of weight. That's all we need on that roster.
That program can do it.
3rd and a long 13 for Arvin. And they go with the keeper. Fakes the bone, or fakes the ISO. And that's going to be a short 2-yard run where it's going to be 4th down. And you got to wonder for the first time what's Arvin going to do. Do you go for it on your own end? And no, you're going to see that punt team come out with that 6-point lead.
They're playing the odds here. They're playing the odds. You talked about Foothill giving up 56 last week, but the caveat to that is it was to a Valley champion.
Absolutely.
Kennedy High School out of Delano was the Valley champions last year. Beat a lot of good teams.
Oh, it looked like we got a little misdirection out there, or some confusion. We had a snap from the long snapper. The punter just stayed there. What I do like is the Foothill defender, he didn't stop.
That's
Play
right.
to the whistle. Young viewers, if you're watching.
I think it's going to be 1st and 10 Foothill.
Absolutely, because you had a legal motion, snap, but you got to teach your guys, hey, you don't hear a whistle, you guys got to continue.
That's
None of the
right.
Arvin Bears were playing except for the punter.
That's right.
The Foothill guy off the edge, I believe it was Diaz again.
That snapper caught us off guard, caught his own team off guard.
He caught everybody off guard. Saw a few fans with their hands up.
And that talk about when you're 0-10, you come to that new season, that series right there was a moral victory for that defense. You know,
Absolutely.
And you get that tradition back by moral victories.
Speaking of tradition, we'll get to some in that toss sweep. And, huge run by Deloney. Breaks a tackle. Another straight arm. Still on his feet. Steps out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And the guy he ran over is still down. Oh, my goodness. If you're watching on Kern High Network, I wish I could rewind it for you. We had a toss sweep.
That looks like number 45 for the Bears.
And we hope.
Esteban Seja.
And we definitely hope Seha, as he gets up, you definitely look like he's okay. And sometimes when a play like that happens, your pride is more hurt than your body.
That's right.
So
And do you know what grade Delaney's in?
we have
Deloney.
Kaylon Deloney,
He's a sophomore.
sophomore.
So they got.
Oh, Coach, you hit the nail on the head.
He's a 190-pound sophomore.
Wow. And he looks like a load.
He does. He does.
So, Coach, we talked about this as we get ready to run this first down for Foothill. The surprising prospects when you eliminate that JV team and give these guys, the young guys, opportunity to move on up.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Foothill. After the huge run by Delaney, and it worked so well last time, they go to Tyson Reynolds on this end. He gains about 3 to 4 yards. But just like your philosophy, Coach, you talked about the 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
That's right. And you saw how patient. That was a power sweep there where they pull everybody on the east side of Bakersfield on that play. And he just plays a little peekaboo, and they're very patient. And that's what I like about Reynolds so far. He's very patient. And you were around one of the best ones that was patient.
Oh,
like that.
yes. Oh, yes. Inside power to Diaz. And like you talked about, that Foothill offensive line continue to move the football, Coach.
Yeah. And it seems like they're having their best success right up the gut, right up, taking it right at Arvin.
Absolutely. Even when they go toss, it's not a wide toss.
No.
It's just a toss to get it to the back, and he's going up the field.
Yeah.
I do say, as they go power to Deloney again, taking it just about the 5-yard line. When I moved on to college, to Bakersfield College, one thing I saw Coach Ned Permenter do was implement more wing tee action with Joey Porter, Phillip Brown. They had a great chemistry with those guys that they had running that wing, and Joey was a beast coming off of that wing. Boy. Inside run to Diaz. Arvin defensive line bowing up.
Well, of course, back in the day, especially when you played, it was the wing tee.
Yes.
You know, that was the nemesis. And, of course, there wasn't anybody that ran it any better than anybody than Clovis West in the nation.
Yes.
And we just happened to see them twice in a row.
Yeah, I think they worked us on that last one, though, Coach. Toss sweep to Reynolds. Arvin defensive line giving it all they got, and they get the stop. It's going to be fourth and 1. And as well as Foothill's been moving it, you got to expect them to try to punch it in. What do you think, Coach?
Oh, yeah. They're at the – they get this close, and we talked about another moral victory, moving the ball from the 50 all the way down inside the 5. And
Absolutely.
Here we go. He's got it. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Arvin. on the dive play. And we're going to say that was number 9, Juan Perez.
That's Foothill's first score of the year right there.
First score of the year.
Well, I take that back. It's 56-6 last
Oh, yeah.
week.
You know what? It confused me a bit, too. I thought it was 2 field goals. They actually missed their PAT. So Diaz, I believe, scored that touchdown last week. But moral victory like you talked about. We'll see if they get this extra point. But ultimately, they get the defensive stance. They do the good job to bow up themselves to earn the football back. Put that ball right back in the hands of Deloney with the huge run.
Yeah,
that was a
big
big-time run, Coach.
We talk about when teams come out in pregame and all that stuff, and you're eyeballing these guys. And Foothill passes what we call the eye test. So you look out there, and hey, these guys look like a football team.
Yes.
Now, whether they play like it's a different thing, but, that's half the battle, passing that eye test.
Absolutely. We have a timeout on the field. We'll stay right here because it's a rare timeout on an extra point. So you got to wonder if Foothill's thinking about actually trying to go for 2 based on the kicking game that they've seen out of Arvin. They're not too worried about them making any extra points after that last PAT we saw out of them. So maybe.
It looks like they're going to kick it. Looks like Hector Paredes.
Lined up for the PAT. Oh, we got a jump. We got another encroachment. That's going to be encroachment on Arvin.
Now you may see the offense come in. And here they come.
And here they come, just like Coach said. So, Coach, while we got a quick switch, talk about some of your history, I always just brag about you being my coach. I forget that you were a legend before I was doing anything, and having the opportunity to try to break your records and go for those marks, man. Great opportunity to call this game with you, Coach.
Well, we were fortunate to come from a school that had a lot of tradition.
And just like they called it, Foothill's lining it up to go for 2. Arvin looking like they bowled up. But we'll see. Still no call. And it's stopped. So great stop by Arvin. That is going to pay big dividends as they get the stop on the extra point. We will go to break and come back with 1:31 left to play here on Kern Network Football right after this.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell down.
Get ready to move, get ready to groove, get ready to fly.
Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door only $29,990, or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest volume GMC.
Welcome back to Kern High Network Football. We have a tie football game, 6-6. Arvin versus Foothill. Foothill has some great production. They get a penalty on the extra point as the ball's kicked off, but they went for that 2 and didn't get it. Kickoff taken at the 10, and Medina gets it out to the 26-yard line. Will it be 1st and 10, Arvin? So, Coach.
Let me ask you, when's the last time you saw your starting quarterback return kicks?
Wow. Coach, you just got me with that one, because I'll be honest with you. I had some fun commentating the Golden Empire youth football games every now and then, and I didn't even see that at that level.
That was Medina returning that kick.
You got to be a stud to be the quarterback and the kick returner.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Arvin heading north pistol, flex bone.
Oh,
Ball's handed off.
who's that? Big 55, it looks like, for Foothill. Corey Morgan,
The initial hit by number 55.
Ooh, huge hit at the point of contact.
6'1", 290 senior, one of the few seniors on this team.
Long 8 for Arvin.
And the one thing I'm hearing as you throw these numbers out, they got some size down there, Coach.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the eye test, and they Foothills passes the eye test this year.
2nd and 8 for Arvin. Pistol formation. They go with the end around. He's met in the backfield. Oh, looked like the ball came loose. But he ended up hanging on to it. Huge penetration, Coach.
Yes, it was. You know, that looked like the football, didn't it? I think that was just a cloud of a piece of dirt flying there. It looked like the football.
Yeah, a little polo divot or something, Coach. We'll have stomping of the divots at the end of the first quarter here at Highland football field. It's going to be 3rd and about 20 for Arvin. And they go shotgun, flex bone. Looks like we're going to have a timeout by Coach Mayers. And we'll take another break. Give our sponsors the opportunity right after this.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell down.
Ready to move, get ready to groove, get ready to fly.
Drive.
Welcome back to Kern High football. And we got a lateral. They look like they're going for the double pass, and it's caught. And it looked like we got a flag over there, Coach.
Flag on the line of scrimmage.
Usually.
It might be a hold on the wideout. We'll see.
Which will be extremely disappointing, being that the play is clearly across the left side.
Legal procedure.
Legal procedure.
They'll probably decline that. And we'll go to a quarter change here. Kind of a question, surprising timeout that Arvin called with 4 seconds left in the quarter. He could just let the time run out and got his whole group over there and not been charged with timeout.
Absolutely, and now it does look like we may go to the quarter break as both teams head to the sideline having a officials conference. We'll stay here for a second to make sure we're on the same page. While they do that, it gives us an opportunity to thank once again Kern Schools, the Kern High Network, and all the great staff over there, Stan Green, and the rest of his administration staff that get everything done behind the scenes, Motor City, and the Palace on Panorama, the Mansion on the Mountain, Harvard on the Hill, Bakersfield College. And that is the quarter break. We'll stay here, talk about some of the games that we have.
Well, you talked about him earlier. You mentioned him earlier, the old man in the lawn chair.
Absolutely.
You know, used to patrol the sidelines for 40 years. Ned Permenter from the Foothill Trojans now just brings his lawn chair and plops down.
And you know what? As many classic battles as we've had against him, and as many as you've had coaching against him,
Yeah.
the nostalgia,
Yeah.
the nostalgia of seeing him sit out there just gives you goosebumps if you know anything about football in Kern County.
Yep.
So it looks like Arvin, as we're here for the second quarter at Highland High School, is going to punt with a 4th and 12, and they'll be punting to, nearly blocked. And he didn't call for a fair catch. Great confidence, and he's taken down immediately by number 3, Felipe Miranda, the senior.
That was actually a pretty good punt by Arvin. And number 11 for Foothill, who is that? Michael Fiera. That's what you got to do as a punt return. You know that. I don't care if you don't get a yard. Just catch the ball so we don't lose yards.
Absolutely. Michael Fiera with the guts to catch that football. We had a great punt return unit when we were drillers. I miss warming up for punt return. Me, you, Steve, LP, all go out there in pregame. Toss sweep to Reynolds, running hard. Oh, no, that's Deloney. Contact at the first yard and ends up carrying 6 guys, another 8 yards with him, Coach.
That's right. That's 190-pound sophomore. Looks like we have some collateral damage here. Arvin hitting Arvin, guys.
And as we see them both getting up, I think it's actually a result of how hard Deloney is running that guys are continuing to have to try to pile on, and you're hitting your own guy.
That's right. One of the guys down is Cesar Venezuela, team captain, wide receiver and DB.
And that's the frustrating thing. Go ahead, Coach.
33 is Angel Torres down.
And Torres has been playing a tough football game, too.
They can't afford to lose those guys.
Yeah, and the one thing we've seen out of the Arvin guys, when they do get hurt, they don't want to be carried off. These kids are tough.
They don't stay down long.
One of my favorite stories last year doing broadcast for the Renegades was the fact that our kicker double-dutied working in the fields when he would leave practice. That's how tough these Arvin football kids are.
Yeah.
2nd and 1 for Foothill. We have a timeout on the field. And there'll be a timeout for the Arvin Bears.
I think that's their 2nd timeout already.
Absolutely. We'll take another break. Give our sponsors an opportunity. And this will be a short one, and we'll be right back after this.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the
Welcome back to Kern High Network Football. 2nd and a short one after the 2nd consecutive Arvin timeout. We're tied 6-6. 11:16 remaining to play in the 2nd quarter. And they go power sweep to Tyson Reynolds. He's trying to get that edge, continuing to run hard, but Arvin continues to set the edge, Coach.
Yeah. Arvin did a good job that time containing that, stringing that out.
Pick up about 5 or 6 yards to midfield.
You know, they needed 1. They got maybe 3.
But first and 10 Foothill.
But you have to love how Arvin is continuing to try to keep them in front of them.
Yeah.
Even on the long runs that they've had, they're running through Arvin players. There's somebody there.
There's somebody there. They just got to make the play.
1st and 10. Sweep to Deloney. He's still chopping feet. He's still rolling.
He just walked through that first tackler.
If there's a coach in the stands, which these kids don't get the opportunity to be recruited at a high level like we talked about because there's not a lot of talk.
Yeah.
But if you're a coach like we were coaches, you see that this kid has some talent.
He does, you know. I'm impressed. He doesn't go down by one the first guy. First guy tackles him might have a headache.
Absolutely. 2nd and 4, and they go toss sweep to Reynolds. Arvin trying to do a good job to keep contained, and Reynolds finally gets the edge. It's going to be a 7-yard gain for another first down as he crosses midfield to the Arvin 42.
Foothill moving those chains, and that's what it takes. You know, we talked about they had the ball twice that first quarter. You know, one was they had punt, and then the second drive they ended up scoring. So this drive here, if it's successful, it's going to eat up most of the second quarter clock.
And that's the true method of that style of offense as they go with the power to Diaz, and they're running hard, Coach. Oh, Diaz looking like he grabbing that knee, and you hate to see a player go down like that.
He looks like he's in some pain there.
Yes, and that's one of the drawbacks of continuing to chop your feet and get those extra yards.
That second effort, a lot of times that's when you get hurt.
Absolutely.
You know, probably up to this point, he might have been our MVP so far.
I agree, because he's playing on both sides of the football. Yeah. He's making plays on both sides of the football. Hopefully the young man, just a quick hyperextension.
Maybe hopefully a cramp.
As you see them grab that leg. You know, and it is early in the year. It's still pretty hot, even though it feels good. And we're getting the breeze from that Kern River over that beautiful
That's right.
moonlight. But, you know, it's still hot, humid. A lot of these kids have been at school all day. You don't get to hydrate how you want to. And he's up on his feet, and that's what you like to see
out
of a tough kid like Diaz.
Well, you know, this is one of the few Friday nights that this east side, East Bakersfield, is rocking. You've got Foothill, Arvin playing at Highland.
Yes.
You've got East and West playing at East.
Yes.
And you've got Miramonte playing Kennedy at Miramonte.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we're standing pretty high up, and I can see the lights
in
Miramonte, and you can see the lights in East.
Absolutely. Got my cousin Daniel Calvin over there on that staff. Proud of that young man. Inside run to the fullback. Just like you said, Coach. Very methodic. Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy.
About 7 plays on offense. You got to guess which one we're running.
Yeah.
Same formation.
And you got, you know, if you're Arvin, you just got to be patient. You just got to be patient. They walk to the line. They break the huddle, walk to the line.
2nd and 5 for Foothill. Inside trap to Tyson Reynolds. Great job by that Arvin defensive line staying disciplined, as you stated, Coach.
Foothill's definitely in four down zone, so they'll be going for it on 4th down.
Definitely, and with that method that they use with that 3 yards in a cloud of dust, it continues to put them in a position to have makeable 3rd down conversion.
Yeah.
3rd and 4. Foothill walking up to the line looking like they still have Justin Meek, how they're running the football.
We might see it a little Deloney here. There it is.
You called it. Arvin with some penetration, but just like you said, Deloney is never tackled by that first guy, Coach.
And the other good thing is he always finishes going forward.
Finishes his runs. One of the people that used to finish some runs here on this football field is coaching for these Foothill Trojans, Leonard the Neck Nevels. If you're wondering who I'm talking about and you look down there, just look for the biggest neck on the sideline.
It's just a head and shoulders. There ain't no neck. All right, 4th down and about a long 2.
And they go right back to Deloney.
And he's got it.
Why not?
Yeah. The thing I like about Foothill is they didn't flinch.
Absolutely.
4th down, we're not taking a call on a timeout. We're just going to line up and do it. Do
right,
what we do.
Right back to it.
Yeah.
It reminds me just like we used to do it when we would go in that ace formation.
Yep.
And you know what's coming. Counter trade. Touchdown. 1st and 10. Foothill. Going sweep to Tyson Reynolds. Great job by the Arvin Bear defense. Number 12.
Well, you
Isaac Lopez.
can see the different styles And Tyson and Maloney, Maloney will cut it up, and Tyson will learn. He's still trying to get that edge, but he was doing it a little earlier. He's cutting that thing up a little sooner.
Absolutely. Did a great job putting his foot in the ground and going up the field first quarter. Now he's trying to finesse and use that speed. Arvin's not going for it. And they go with the inside reverse to number 26, I believe.
Yeah. We talked about this offense and what it does. Foothill's already chewed up half the quarter already. Arvin hadn't touched the ball the second quarter.
Not a fan-friendly style of offense, but for a coach who's working with a somewhat depleted roster, not a lot of talent in a whole lot of places, your best friend is your ability to keep the ball from the other team.
Yes.
3rd and 13 for the Foothill Trojans. You guessed it, to Deloney on the sweep. Great blocking by the wideout, Tyson Reynolds. Deloney gets about 2 and gets up limping a bit. You got to be concerned about that with the load that he's carried today.
Actually, a nice tackle by Billy Avila, who's outweighed by about 45 pounds.
Yes, Billy Avila's tough, too. He's already been down on the pavement and got back up. So you never question the character of these young men wearing white and red today. But nonetheless, we'll see our first field goal, Coach, and this is, a good distance, about 35 yards. It looked like it was tipped, and that's going to be no good. We'll take a break here as Arvin will have the first down. When we come back, still tied, 6-6. Matter of fact, we'll stay here. We'll stay here, Julius, because it looks like they're transitioning a bit quick. We wanted to get the break in, but we're going to stay here. 1st and 10, Arvin heading south.
Touching the ball for the first time in the second quarter with 5:55 left in the half.
And even though you didn't get points out of that drive, moral victory from a standpoint of changing the field.
That's right.
1st and 10, Arvin from the 20. Shotgun trips left. Gil Medina at quarterback, and they go with the quick screen. Tackled after a 3-yard gain. Cesar Valenzuela on the reception, Coach.
Well, I think that's only our 4th pass we've seen this game. 3 by Arvin and 1 by Foothill.
And for the people who are watching, one of the reasons you don't see high-level passing for some of these teams is that they don't have the ability to protect the quarterback for longer than 3 seconds to get a route to develop.
That's true. That is true.
2nd and 6, or is that 3rd and 6 for Arvin? Looks like we had motion. Oh, and he's sacked immediately. Multiple Trojans.
And just like you talked about, pass protection,
Absolutely.
When you run the ball as well as Foothill and Arvin do, you spend a lot of your practice time doing that. And so that leaves less time to practice on your passing game.
Coach, I remember being a young, skinny wide receiver, wanting my pass, wanting my catches.
And we said,
nope.
Get out there and block.
Absolutely. 2nd and 10, or 3rd and 10, I'm sorry, for the Arvin Bears. And we got another pass. He gets it off. Incomplete on the corner route. Intended for Cesar Valenzuela again. Nonetheless, it's going to bring up a 4th down for the Arvin Bears. Expect to see punt team.
Yeah.
As personnel changes.
When you're playing a double wing team like this, they just took the ball for 6 minutes. You go 3 and out and give it right back to them.
Back to them.
And you hate to do that.
Absolutely. And also, especially when you're struggling in special teams as well, because I will say the last time that Foothill or Arvin lined up to punt, if Foothill was actually coming off the edge, they could have blocked that.
That's right.
4th and 10. High snap. Penetration. Ooh. Nearly blocked. Oh, we got roughing the punter. This will be all for fun. And you can't fault the effort of the Foothill Trojan, but that's a huge penalty, as that's going to be roughing, not running into, which will give them the first down, Coach.
Yep. Talked about it earlier. Trojans can't beat the Trojans
Oh, wow.
to get their first win.
And yes.
I like that punt returner.
Oh, yes, he has guts.
Yeah, he's catching the ball, and that's 80% of it. I don't care what you do after that. Just catch it.
Absolutely. You told us that all the time.
And you got a guy that's fearless back there, that's got great confidence in himself to catch that ball and not let it bounce.
Hardest job in football.
It is.
Punt return. 1st and 10, Arvin after the 15-yard penalty, giving them second life. Doing a little check with me, Coach Mars. And this looks like he's going to burn his final timeout before he gets a delay of game. We'll stay here. Once again, we want to talk about Kern High Network. So excited to see the setup. Coach, it's my first full season that I'll have the opportunity to work with you guys. I've been brought in as a special guest.
That's right. That's right.
But I talked to Stan. I had him on the Renegade Report for Bakersfield College, and I said, hey, Stan, you need me. Give me a call. I'm a phone call away.
And he did.
And he did that. Stan Green, 1988, Bakersfield College Renegade National Champ. I joked with him, Coach. I told him that I called Memorial Stadium the house that Kenny Cow built to all my friends out of town. And then when I had Stan on there, I had to pass the name because, hey, you got the big ring, man. 1st and 10 for Arvin. What do you expect to see, Coach?
Well, I think they're going to start throwing it a little bit.
Medina with the keeper. Oh, it looks like we're going to have a clip.
Here comes some flags. Medina runs up to midfield for Arvin.
Going.
Company making the tackle.
Looks like it was a whiteout again. And we talked about when you get teams that run a lot of fly sweep, misdirection, those receivers got to do a lot of blocking out there.
Illegal use of the hands against Arvin.
Absolutely. And that seemed like a situation, Coach, where he just clear dove at a guy's feet that's already by him. I always told my guys, hey, if you're not within arm's reach of the guy, don't do anything unnecessary.
No. All you got to do is dance out there. Stay in front of him. Keep yourself between the ball carrier and the tackler.
Absolutely, and they go to quick swing pass, and they got the edge. Looks like a little speed. Some speed from Avila as he takes that swing pass, gets about 12 yards. It's going to make it about a 2nd and 8, Coach.
Yeah. When you have smaller schools like this, Foothill carrying about 40 guys on the roster, Arvin carrying about 30. A lot of guys go both ways.
Absolutely.
So a lot of guys haven't been off the field yet.
And
it's about halftime. You get winded.
And that may be one of the reasons why we've seen so many timeouts from the Arvin Bear coach, just trying to keep his guys from being so winded. Shotgun, pass play, and pressure once again. Look like number 30, Coach.
Julian Fonseca off the edge. We talked about it, being able to pass pro.
Absolutely. As much as we would love to see the ball being thrown all over the place, you cannot do that without pass protection.
That's right.
You see Arvin trying to do the best they can to mix it up.
Yeah.
Just can't protect the quarterback.
And one of the things you got to tell young quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks, you drop fast, you read fast, you throw fast.
Absolutely.
Very simple. If you don't have guys up front to protect you.
QB keeper. Foothill is not giving up on defense.
That's going to bring up a 4th down.
And that's going to bring out that Arvin punt team. And for them, they probably feel like the moral victory as well to try to flip the field before the end of the half.
Now, occasionally, there goes our guy, Michael, number 11, Michael Fiera. Faria.
Michael's got guts, Coach. He hasn't had one hit the ground yet. High snap. Good punt. Oh, and I jinxed him. I jinxed Faria.
Yeah.
And it's recovered by the Trojans.
Heads up play by 23.
And we have Arvin Bear down again, number 10. And that looks like Adam Avila. That was a bang recovery attempt.
He heard those footsteps at the last minute, that Arvin Bear bearing down on him.
Absolutely, and I definitely jinxed him.
Yeah, that's right.
Dr. J said, yeah, you did.
You know, with a minute 15 left, the one thing, the changeup that Foothill has to their double wing offense is they will get into a 2x2 double set, and that's kind of their 2-minute
option.
Offense, throwing offense, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
So we'll see if they pull that out with a minute 15 left in this game, or half.
Yeah, it's a tough day for injuries for Arvin. But if this one is anything like the last one, this kid's going to get up and walk off the field, as we said, just like we talked about. You know, these kids got an extra gear when it comes to that passion and desire to stay out on the field.
Well, we talked about Ned Permeter earlier, and I see another Dallas Platter. He was coaching when you were playing.
Wow.
I see Pat Carlotti, who was a longtime JV coach here, roaming the sidelines.
You know, it's beautiful hearing those names because these guys change lives. You know, just like you changed mine, Coach. I talk about you and Coach Theodore. You know, being my first DB coaches and teaching me, you know, you can't be great if you can't get to practice.
That's right.
And you can't be successful at practice if you're out there all night running around.
Like they say, you know, showing up is 70% of it.
Absolutely. 1st and 10, Deloney switches field. This kid's got vision, an amazing tackle by Manuel Moreno with the shoestring tackle.
Well, Philippe Miranda, number 3.
That's who that was?
Yeah.
Oh, Philippe Miranda. I need some glasses, Coach. You got both of yours on.
I know it.
I wish our viewers could see Coach Van Horn. He has double lenses on. I need one lens. He has 8 of them on. 2nd and about 4 for Foothill. They go reverse to Deloney. Great blocking by Reynolds outside. And we talked about blocking, Coach. What'd you see right there?
Yeah. That's what it's all about. You know, you get those guys blocking clean out there, and about a 10-yard run. I don't think he knew what he was doing, but he did get out of bounds what he's supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And stop the clock.
Absolutely. And you know I'm getting old, and I'm a former coach, when I just get excited about receivers blocking. 1st and 10, Foothill, heading north. We got a rollout pass. Look like we got a flood route. Oh, inside pass to Deloney. He has some action.
He's got some room.
O-line pushing out there. Great blocking. Deloney to the 20. Cuts it inside, and he's tackled. We have another flag down here at the 25. But how about the vision by Deloney? Takes the pass on the flood route. Great patience as we have the Arvin injury. We'll dissect that play. But they roll right with the flood route.
And the receivers were actually in front of the quarterback, is what you want him to do. And he actually threw back against the grain, which is always, you tell the quarterback, that's a cardinal rule. But
don't do it. Huh?
He got it. And Deloney made a big run. They're still going to get something out of it. Still going to get a first down.
Yeah, we had a late, looked like it may have been a hold out here late or a block in the back.
Well, you know, that particular play, those guys had to hold their blocks for about 12 seconds there.
Yeah, that's hard to do, right?
That play lasted a while.
How about the effort by those offensive linemen?
Yeah.
I saw number 61, Eli Provinico, about 30 yards down the field, and they go with the same play. Oh, and he just throws it up. Oh, and it's picked off. The things you don't want to do at the end of the half. But you know, you had to try for the last shot. That is half, going in 6-6. We will take a break and come back for our halftime right after this.
Arvin 6, good ball game here from Highland High School. Hope you're enjoying it. Defense dominating so far.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
a lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like drawers, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, It's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses. Having a pool of resources for kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
I was shearing my lamb for fair. I have 2 lambs. Taking care of animals is you feed them twice a day, make sure they have water, walk them, make sure they're ready for fair.
Vet science is the first year before you can actually go into animal science, and it's a lot of like hands-on with the different animals, and you get to learn different things such as giving shots, castrating, all that fun stuff. For me, wanting to be a vet when I'm older, it helped prepares me. All the stuff that I'm learning in ag is definitely going to help me.
I'm in ag communications. Anything that you see on the Facebook page is what we do, and pictures, and we do all the posters that are around campus, anything that just promotes ag.
Our students are all part of the FFA organization, and through that we have a chapter officer team. We do monthly chapter meetings because we're trying to get them involved outside of class. They can find something that they're interested in, and they need something that's going to hook them so that they're ready for life after high school.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
We're in manufacturing engineering. We design parts, 3D parts, 2D parts, we create assemblies.
It's helping me get training in all of this stuff, like the computer programs that we have here, the machines that we have here. We learn a lot of math in here, mostly geometry and fractions, because I love math. That's why I'm in this class.
Mr. Lemmy, he's a great instructor.
So the problem is this piece itself.
He really goes hands-on with us. He helps us as much as we can. We've learned a lot from him.
Right now we're supplying students that are skilled in the safety, basic operation of machine work, and then they also leave with some soft skills. They understand they have to be on time. They understand that they have to get up and talk to people. Most of them are walking out of here with a solid foundation in the entry level of a trade.
They can have a job anywhere they go because they have a basic understanding of what it's going to take to put products out that people are going to use.
Hopefully this is a good career for me. You know, end up doing something good, have a good life, and make some money.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Welcome back to Highland High School for Arvin versus Foothill. We have a 6-6 game as we enter the third quarter. Coach Van Horn, what is your first half synopsis?
Well, you know, the score's tied 6-6, but I like the, you know, I think Foothill really dominated that first half. We saw that second quarter. They had the ball for about 9 minutes of that 12-minute quarter. So Foothill's playing with some confidence. I think they've got, you know, They see it in their eyes. It's close now. It's
Absolutely.
close.
And on both sides of the ball, because you have Mr. Diaz doing it everywhere he can on both ends.
Yep.
Got a couple sacks.
Yep. And, you know, we had some outstanding play by the sophomore Maloney. Saw Tyson Reynolds make a couple plays on defense. You know, we had Diaz. And on the Arvin side, you know, Medina, the quarterback.
I'm calling him Mr. Do-It-All.
Yeah. And speaking of the...
Arvin High looking to kick off to start this third quarter. Back deep for the Trojans. You have Reynolds, who lets it bounce off his chest, and you want to pick that up because it hit you. Or it looks like they're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That looked like he touched it. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, you know, the ref has better vision than we do from that standpoint. I thought it hit him.
Yeah.
You know, but great job by Reynolds to stay out of the way. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans.
That was one of those. You know, you talk about kids, quarterbacks throwing kicks because the ball goes end over end. That was actually a kick to spiral there. So that's a tough ball to catch for Reynolds.
Absolutely, and that's a tough ball to kick off a tee.
Yeah.
You kicking spirals off the tee?
Yeah.
I told you Arvin had great kickers, didn't he? Nonetheless, they'll re-kick. Foothill going with the option to re-kick with the talent back there that they have. They got your guy.
Yeah.
Number 11. And Tyson Reynolds. I want to say number 11 is Michael Faria.
That's
back there with Tyson
punt
Reynolds.
Returner.
Yeah, he has guts, Coach. Nonetheless, we'll re-kick for the Arvin Bears. Now he's going to kick it out of bounds again.
And that's going to bring that back another 5 yards. So I'd have him kick it again.
Absolutely. And then, you know, at that moment, you got to ask yourself as a coach, do you want to go ahead and give him an opportunity to squib it?
Yeah.
At least with this opportunity, you get the ball down the field and possibly get it to hit the Foothill Trojans.
It looks like Foothill's going to take the ball on the 40. I don't know. I might have had him kick it again. And let's see if you can put it in the field of play.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we might have been out of here all night if that happened. 1st and 10 for Foothill, heading north. And they go with that toss sweep to Deloney.
Oh, he laid it down.
And that
There's
ball.
a fumble.
Was that a ball that came out? Or no, just oh, yes, it did come out.
Oh. It looked like
nonetheless, the
Wow.
ball came out. An Arvin football player gets up with it.
It sure looked like a fumble, didn't it?
All right. Hey, we may have to replay that one when we get home, Coach. Nonetheless, 2nd and 10, Foothill.
That's one Dr. J's going to have to dissect on that.
Inside reverse to Tyson Reynolds. He puts that foot in the ground and gets about 3. Great job setting the edge for Arvin by number 12, Isaac Lopez, forcing Tyson Reynolds to have to cut it out.
We talked about that earlier. Another bear down.
Third down coming up, and Arvin players on the turf. Officials timeout.
Tough outing for the Arvin Bears, as they're looking at probably their 7th injury.
And that happens when you get a team that runs a double wing. They're foot to foot in there. So you've got, you know, if we're looking in there, you've got about 18 guys within a 5-yard distance.
Wow.
So foot to foot, not a whole lot of room down there. So there's a lot of stepping on ankles.
Wow.
And
a lot of congestion.
A lot of congestion. That's right.
And you can see it as the way that Tyson Reynolds and Deloney are high hurdling over guys.
That's right.
And even when they've had those long runs, they're running through bodies.
That's right.
To get where they need to go because it's so congested, as you said. Great insight, Coach.
That's right.
Looks like it'll be about 3rd and 6.
The one thing I saw Arvin, you're going to see them really go after that ball now when they're tackling. You're seeing, especially when Tyson has it.
ISO. And we got another Arvin Bear who is squirming in agony. And you know, as we try to figure out which player's down, we'll revisit what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Foothill's offensive line is doing such a great job putting the hat on the hat in that tight space.
Yeah.
And when you have backs with talent like Deloney and Reynolds chopping through there, it's just so much power in that short amount of field.
That's right.
You know, and as we stated, you know, it looks like it'll be 4th and 1 when we come back, but Foothill's doing a good job being the tougher team up front.
Yeah, it is. And you can see, you know, you said we had, this is probably our 8th Bear go down already, you know, and thankfully nobody sustained a serious injury.
And just like all the other Bears, it looks like he's ready to get up on his own power.
But when you play Foothill this year, they're going to make you play physical football.
Yes.
You know, foot to foot. We're not doing anything fancy. We're just going to come right at you.
Absolutely. And it looks like Adam Avila, who's played a very tough game, it looks like he's cramping up, Coach.
Yeah.
And one thing we know, no matter how tough you think you are, those cramps will fold you.
And they don't go away. Once you catch one in a game, they don't go away.
If you've never caught a cramp on a bus after a game, heading home, you do not know true pain. 4th and 1 for Foothill. 6-6 football game, 10:37 remaining to play in the third quarter. And they go right through that A-gap with Diaz, one of the toughest players on the field, Coach.
Big play there, 4th and a short one. Give it to your money man. Give it your inside, Mr. Outside there with Deloney, Reynolds on the outside, and now you've got a presence like Diaz inside. You're on your way. You're going to win some games.
Coach, you took the words right out of my mouth. 1st and 10. And they go Deloney with the sweep, and he cuts it inside.
Up to the 30-yard line, driven back. Good blocking up
I tell you, that was number 4. He's not on the Arvin roster, but he looks like he weighs about $110, trying to tackle Big Deloney, who weighs 195 pounds.
It looked like he was holding on.
That was what you call a business decision there. It's one of those. You hear those NFL DBs talk about business decision.
2nd and 5 for Foothill. They go to inside reverse. Tyson Reynolds through the 28 hole.
Inside the 30-yard line. First down, Trojans to the 28. 1st and 10, Foothill.
First opportunity to see some of that speed of Tyson Reynolds.
Yeah, he was about a step away from breaking that one.
Great combination in that backfield, right, Coach?
Yeah. And, you know, that's probably Tyson's 10th carry. Deloney's probably carried it 15 times already.
Well, it's going to be tough picking our player of the game. We have a Kern High Network player of the game that we pick every game. Go down there and get a pick. As the ball's handed off to Diaz, he's making his case.
That's all he wanted, 4 yards.
Earlier, if you missed it, Coach Van Horn talked about the philosophy of heavy run teams. You want 3 yards and a cloud of dust. And that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
2nd and 6 for the Foothill Trojans. Toss sweep to Deloney. Flag on the play. Coach Van Horn signaling holding.
We've had a pretty clean game. In fact, maybe 5 penalties.
Maybe.
You know.
Clean football game, well-coached game on both sides. You had a few mistakes as we're getting a little more cramp action for number 33, Angel Torres.
Well, you know, Foothill and Coach Decker's got to take some pride in this because we haven't seen a Trojan not lay down on the field yet. You know, and that's kind of a badge of honor there to tell your kids, look at those guys, you know.
Absolutely. You know, I remember you guys conditioning us, you know, in that training camp and how hard we would work and how you would tell us how it was going to pay dividends. And that's why we rolled through every team in Bakersfield. Second and a long 20. They go back to Reynolds on that hand sweep. Great job by Arvin continuing to play physical on the outside.
Excellent D by Arvin.
Number 4 with the stop. We'll try to get a name on him before the end of the game.
Yeah.
Wrangler number 70, leading the charge for the Bears.
Foothill looking at a long third down conversion coming up.
We talked about that's what those 15-yard penalties do. They take you out of that mathematical equation to get in that first and makes it hard because you're not a passing team.
Absolutely. And they do attempt to pass, roll right, thrown into traffic, and that's going to be incomplete. Bringing up a fourth down, and you're kind of in no man's land if you're Foothill being on your 37-yard line. Nonetheless, you see the punter come out because in a game like this, as you chop down, field position means everything, right, Coach?
That's right. You know, they took 5 minutes off that clock on that drive.
Fourth and long, but in this area too.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I know what you're thinking.
You know
you
taught me.
Thinking.
You taught me, Coach.
You may see Fiera. He was a punt returner and can run.
You taught me this, Coach. He took the words right out of my mouth. Nonetheless, they do punt it, and it's high. Taken at the 6-yard line by guess who? Medina.
Yeah.
He breaks one tackle, out across the 25, breaks another 2, 3, out to the 40-yard line, and this kid's a star.
Yeah.
Flag at the 26-yard line.
Kick returner, punt returner, and quarterback. Quite a combination there.
Coach, is that how you used to do it back in the days?
I used to return punts some in my day.
I heard about you, man. You know, it was funny. My dad came down from Portland. He doesn't get to spend a lot of time in California, so he starts asking about all his old teammates, and he sees us take pictures at the games in the booth. He's like, man, you know, I played with some studs. Y'all think y'all were good. You know, guys like Tricky Ricky. He called you Tricky Ricky. He's like, man, those guys were amazing. I was just honored to be on the team. And my dad also talked about guys like Tony Allen.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
You're going way back. That boy was a horse.
I heard.
He would average 35 carries a game.
I heard, Coach. 1st and 10 for Arvin, heading north. We keep throwing out these old drillers. We'll get to some old Arvin Bears. And our next dead ball is they go fullback dive.
Nice tackle. Who was that?
Nice open field tackle by number 20, Hector Paredes.
Yeah.
And guess what, Coach? He's also the kicker.
Well, we talked about it. These guys don't come off the field. They got to double up, triple up.
Absolutely.
Defense, offense, special teams.
No, it's definitely unique to see this black on this Highland field.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Arvin doing a good job trying to respond and moving the football. Pistol wing set for Medina. Some confusion at the snap. And they go ISO again to Michael. Oh, not to Michael, to Eddie Hernandez. You know, while we got a quick few seconds, we definitely want to continue to thank everybody that put us in a position to have the broadcast at Kern High Network, I should say, Motor City, Kern Schools, and the Renegades of Bakersfield College. 2nd and 9, and they go with that end around to number 8. Junior Casas.
Good gain there by Arvin and good gang tackle by the Foothill defense. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 5, so talk about that no man's land. You know, Arvin hasn't done a great job of throwing the ball.
Absolutely. It's been tough trying to protect the quarterback, huh?
You know, I think their best play has been Medina on some kind of RPO, quarterback tray. So we may see something involving Medina here.
Absolutely. Coach referring to the RPO as the run pass option, you know, giving the quarterback the decision to read that defensive end and decide whether he keeps it, pitches it, or passes it. 3rd and 5, and they go with the power. Good call as they are close to the first down.
I think it's going to be short. They're going to be about 4th and a short 1.
Coach, and just like you said, that no man's land, 4th and 1 on your own 48.
Yeah. I think if you're Arvin at this point, you may not, if you don't make it, you may not get the ball back this quarter, so you've got to go for it.
Great point.
You're in 4-down zone the rest of the game.
Great point. Foothill with the ball control style of offense. So you will see a late addition from Foothill, and they call a timeout because I think they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have a timeout here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Kern High Network football right after this.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell down. Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door only.
We are back. 4th and 1 for Arvin. Gutsy call, and they go with the QB sneak, and he's breaking through.
That's Medina.
Gil Medina, one tackle away from breaking it all away. Gutsy call by Coach Mars. 1st and 10, Arvin Bears.
Good job by the Arvin offensive line. You know, they got big 55 in there, and he's a load. He's 290 pounds. For Foothill.
Absolutely. Nonetheless, huge conversion for Arvin that needed every bit of that. 1st and 10. Hand sweep.
Good job there by number 80 from Foothill. And he's not on the roster for Foothill.
So they go hand sweep to Casas. Trying to take it to the Casa. Gets 5 on 1st down, making it a 2nd and 10, and this is probably the most productive Arvin drive that we've seen.
That's right. That's right.
Pistol flex bone for Arvin. And they go power off the right side. Tough run, and they're using the 3 yards in the cloud of dust philosophy as they gain 4, giving them an opportunity to have a makeable 3rd down conversion with 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2, Arvin. The Foothill 40-yard line.
So, Coach, we talked about history of the Arvin Bears. I mean, outside of my partner, VP, I heard he was nice when he was an Arvin Bear. We talking about gridiron.
What are you talking about? You got to go way back. It's the Griders.
The Griders, Dallas.
The Kennedys, the Tarvers. That was a family, the Tarvers.
Yes, I got a Tarver story for you after this power play. It looks like they are going to get the 1st down. Arvin, so get this, Coach. You know I do a lot of high-level music work. And I had a partner out of New York City that meets a girl from Bakersfield. And guess what her name? Taryn Tarver. I end up the best man of my buddy from New York's wedding. And she's the daughter of the legend, John Tarver.
Oh, my.
That was my first time meeting the Arvin Bear Renegade Hall of Famer, John Tarver.
Yeah, John Tarver, NFL running back.
NFL running back. And he still had some moves out there at the reception. We have a timeout for Arvin Bear, so we'll stay here You know, because we threw a couple names out. You talked about Coach Grider, such a dear place in my heart as my linebacker coach as
That's
a renegade.
right. You know, and the Grider family in Arvin football lore is historical out there. You know, he went on to play at UCLA, BC at UCLA, but
absolutely
was just a great linebacker. And they still say he wasn't the toughest Grider of them all.
Wow, and that's crazy because I played with his son Chad. Chad was my linebacker.
Yeah,
you know, great coach.
You had a younger one, Keith Grider and Doug, and just go on and on. Then later on in the 90s, you had the Cunninghams.
Wow. Amazing history.
Yeah.
First and 10.
And we haven't even mentioned the freight train.
Oh, my goodness. We'll talk about him in a minute, too. Power play. Great block on the edge with some hard running. And they put your man. Right. Go ahead, Coach.
They put Venezuela at quarterback and handed it to Medina sitting at that eye back there. Hey.
Wow.
Coach Mars is pulling everything out now.
Boy, I got to tell you, if you're not here watching this football game, this young kid, Medina, is putting on a show from all angles. Huge run, making it a 1st and 10 and the first red zone trip for Arvin the whole game. Power play to Medina again.
Good job by the Foothill defense that time. A host of Trojans on that tackle.
And if you're Arvin, coach, it's in the back of your mind that, hey, we got to punch this in because we've seen what our kicker looks like when we put him out here. 3 is not going to get it. So 2nd and 7 for the Arvin Bears.
Well, this is, like you said, this is Arvin's best drive of the game.
Foothill defense back against the wall. They played pretty well so far. But Arvin is continuing to pound it inside, running hard.
My.
Wow.
Running hard about the 5-yard line. 1st down.
45. Esteban Seja. What
huge,
a run.
Huge run by Esteban Seja, carrying about 4 runners on that inside fullback dive. And now
he was hungry on that play.
Yes, he looked hungry.
Now they've got 1st and goal on about the 4-yard line, it looks like. Yes. I might feed him.
I might feed him.
Yeah, he's hungry. I might give him some love here.
They got that full house backfield, and they go right back to him. Like Coach Van Horn said, Foothill defense bowing up. But he's still on his feet.
Arvin fed him, but Foothill said the restaurant's closed on this play.
And great decision. Oh, no, we got the end of the quarter. We'll take a quick break as we begin the 4th quarter after this.
So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell-down. Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door, only $29,990. Or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest volume GMC dealer, Motor City.
Current Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a rocky.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, at Highland Scott Stadium for Arvin versus Foothill. Arvin at the goal line, and they go in power play, and it looks like they got in for the touchdown. And it's Medina taking the power play. the old full house power play that we used to run for the Compton Oilers and Jack Frost. 2 fullbacks, 1 tailback, and
That's
that
right.
tailback happens to be the best player on the field right now, Coach.
That's right.
So Arvin already missed 1 PAT. Looks like they're going to go ahead and try to do the smart thing and add another one.
Sarah trying the PAT.
To make it a 13-6 game. And he is good with the bullet.
With the bullet kick there.
To make it a 13-6 lead for the Arvin Bears. We'll stay here because, Coach.
Well, that's going to be interesting now because if Foothill, they score, they're going to have to make a decision. Do we go for the tie or do we go for the win? And I think they'll go for the win. They'll go for 2. See if they can get this monkey off their back.
Be interesting to see. As Coach Van Horn said, Foothill has continued to move the ball, but nonetheless, Arvin comes back with their best drive of the football game, capitalizing on a couple of small penalties and get some conversions from
right.
Medina. And right now, like you said, Coach.
Well, Foothill's got plenty of time. You got one hold. You got 12 minutes left. Got 36 minutes in the book. So
still a lot of football left to play.
Still a lot of football. Let's see if the Arvin kicker can keep it in bounds this time.
And if Coach Mars was thinking like I'm thinking,
you think it's squib?
You might want to squib or sky kick it.
Well, I definitely don't want to give. And Reynolds has been about twice already, been a step away from breaking it all the way.
Absolutely.
So I might do what you said and squib it right down the middle.
Look at that dead area right around between the 30 and 40.
That's a spiral again. Oh. That son of a gun, I've never seen that.
And Coach, I got to tell you, I got to agree with you. I don't know if I would kick it to a Tyson Reynolds or to Faria because those guys are fearless.
Yeah.
And they have the speed to get it down to the other end as quick as possible. So we'll see as they're going to be walked back another 5 yards, which makes it even more dangerous to kick it deep because sometimes you can out-kick your coverage.
That's right.
We'll see. Nonetheless, Arvin playing with some confidence, Coach. And we talked about confident Arvin Bears. One of the most confident I ever seen was my former Renegade linebacker, Hernan, the freight train Santiago. One of the best players I ever seen in practice.
That's right.
You know, being a DB, he was the guy you did not want to have to do drills with because you're going to have to work. Nonetheless, Tyson Reynolds getting the ball, breaking it outside. Great block on the edge. Tyson Reynolds crossing the 45. Oh, and you see a late flag, another late flag.
We've got 2 flags down. I think the first one might have been a late hit against Arvin, but the second flag now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Coach, because I think it could have been on Reynolds, too, for some extracurricular after the contact. We'll see. Dead ball, personal foul, offsetting. So Foothill got lucky.
They sure did.
Wow. Offsetting penalties, meaning the ball will stay right here. It'll be 1st and 10 with great field position. And it's just like we said, Coach, why are you going to kick it to a kid with that kind of athletic ability when you should have just squibbed it for the same amount of yards?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, 1st and 10, Foothill heading south. They go toss. Running hard is number 23. Or was that 20? Yes, 23.
Jeff Cuevas.
And know what? You just got me corrected, Coach, because Jeff Cuevas scored the lone touchdown for Foothill last week. So interesting to see him get his first carry, because that was the name that stuck out on my notes of getting the first touchdown of the season for them last week.
Cuevas in there giving Reynolds a break after that long return.
Absolutely. And Deloney still running hard.
Yeah.
And what that gives me the impression of is just like you talked about in the first quarter, that Foothill offensive line doing a fantastic job up front.
Yeah. And Maloney's definitely a workhorse this game.
They go fullback dive to Diaz. He gets that 4 yards, that ever dependable 4 yards. You know, Foothill.
Although the young sophomore Maloney's going to look, because you're going to watch that play, and he stood around, did a lot of watching on that. He's got to learn. Hey, if you're going to block for me, you got to block for each other.
Absolutely.
It's not a one-way deal.
Yes, and you got the coach's eye, because I missed that one. But it's just like you said. You know, you got to give me the same effort that I'm giving you on the other side. Toss sweep.
That's Cuevas
again. And Cuevas is looking very impressive.
I like their little group of running backs. You got Cuevas, Diaz, Reynolds, and Maloney.
Absolutely. Definitely impressed with Foothill's offensive tempo, the way that they're moving the ball, as we got another former driller and renegade legend stepping in the box. Coach Vince Van Horn. How you doing, sir? Man, I'm up here living the dream with Pops, man. It's my first time getting the full throttle run with the person that made me great 20 years ago. How you doing, sir? What did it look like over there?
What was the score when you left? Liberty 21-7 at their halftime.
Great insight from Coach Van Horn. Excited to see what our Renegades are going to do as they go to Deloney with the sweep. Great job by the outside linebackers of Arvin all night keeping containment.
Good job we talked about setting the edge, Felipe Martinez.
You know, and that's just discipline and great coaching, to make the decision.
And you got to make the tackle, because if he misses that tackle, Maloney's on his way.
Absolutely. 2nd and 9 for Foothill. And they're rolling right, and that flood pass is coming again, but it looks like he's going to keep it, making a good decision and not try to force anything. Ran out after a 3-yard gain. Looks like we're going to have about a 3rd and 5, so interesting, Coach.
Yeah, and we haven't heard too much from Torres, the quarterback, because he's threw one interception right before the half, but that was kind of a gimme last play of the game, kind of a Hail Mary type thing. But other than that, which means when you don't hear about a guy, means he's managing a good game.
Absolutely. Toss sweep to Deloney. Hurdling over defenders, as we said, carrying defenders. And it looks like he's going to have that first down, Coach.
And that looked like Felipe Martinez again, making the tackle for Arvin, but 10 yards down the field that time.
And just like we talked about, Coach, so much congestion. The only
right.
way he's going to get through there is continuing to high step over these guys, and he's doing a great job in traffic.
And being very patient. We talked about in this offense, these backs have to be patient. Stay behind your blockers. Play peekaboo.
Great job by all the backfield and the coaching staff of Foothill. And they go that inside reverse to Tyson Reynolds. Oh, and he takes a huge hit from number 6, Wesley Graves.
Wesley Graves was Manuel Moreno also.
Wow.
Boy.
And that right there will be a hit of the week candidate. I think I see my man Greg Kerr down there. I'm not sure who's down there with a camera. But somebody cue up the replay. 2nd and 4. They go back to that sweep. Tyson Reynolds showing some patience. corralled after gain of a couple. And you're getting down into that area where it's 4-down territory. You're down 7 points, 7 minutes to play. And then it comes into play what you talked about, Coach. What do you do if you go in, right?
Yeah. And this is typical of Foothill, this game, taking these long, methodical drives.
A little bit of
Maloney's starting to slow down a little bit.
Yes, he is. Maloney slowing down.
He's got to get that second wind going real fast if Foothill wants a chance.
No gain on that play.
Yeah, Deloney. We said Maloney is Deloney, but seeing the traffic and the congestion, you're not always going to be able to hurdle that in the backfield. Nonetheless, 4th and 1, Foothill going with Diaz.
And another fourth down short, and they give it to Diaz. Remember, right here in midfield. Not a whole lot of carries, but they're crucial carries.
Crucial carries, and just like you said, so important from the aspect of you don't know how many times you're going to get it, but just be productive when you do, and that's what he's doing on both sides of the football.
Yeah.
1st and goal for Foothill. They go toss sweep. Stood up by their Arvin Bear defense. And as you get low, and I hesitated a bit because I just saw something that made my night, guys. And we'll get to that in a second. But 2nd and goal for Foothill. We just got an update that our former Renegade legend Cam Robertson had a touchdown versus Rutgers today as he had his debut for UMass. So we're excited for that. Nonetheless, 27 power by Foothill. Diaz on the carry, but one of the things I liked about Cam, Coach, every time he touched the football, you never knew.
Yeah.
He can go 90 yards in one play. I saw so many amazing plays. I know it had to be a great opportunity for you to coach him, right, Vince? Absolutely. Foothill with the power play off the left side. Arvin defense continuing to bow up. Looks like we're going to have another 4th and goal, and just like Coach Van Horn said, that clock is moving. Interesting play. What you got, Coach?
Well, Foothill's going to think about it. They're going to call timeout, think about it. They got about a 4th and a long 3 here.
All right.
And
well,
this game is on the line right here.
Absolutely. So since it's on the line, we're going to stay right here. We got one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, it's in his blood. Vince Van Horn. Vince, so let's talk a bit about what we expect out of our Renegades next week. I haven't had a chance to get down to the field, and I have Renegade Report coming up next week. But what do you expect out of us next week versus Mount Sac?
Well, coming out of this Antelope Valley scrimmage, always different going against another team. You've been hitting each other for weeks and weeks, and we get in that game speed, and it exposes some flaws, and we still got some stuff to work on, but we are really excited about this group of guys we got in there. We got a lot of young, talented guys, and it's going to be a sight to see this year.
Absolutely. I'm always excited to see it. Being that I don't get to coach, I get to live through you guys in the booth, and talk about preparation, but we'll touch on a bit of that as we move forward. Foothill coming back out with this 4th and goal play. Let's see what we'll have. 4:53 remaining to play. Biggest play of the game for Foothill. And they're going to Diaz. Diaz is in for the touchdown. And, Coach, we may have a true argument for this player of the game.
And we got another Bear on the field. But now it's decision time. They're going for 2. They're going for the win here.
Wow, so huge, gut-wrenching call. As we'll figure out who's the Arvin Bear that's down. But, Coach, like you talked about, Diaz doing so much for his team in crucial points.
That's right. crucial first downs on fourth down, converting those plays. And now down here at the goal line, that wasn't like a 4th and 1. That was about a 4th and 4 there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what that means is that as a coaching staff, you have confidence in this kid that he's going to get 4 yards on a dive play.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, sign him up on my team.
Yeah.
Great job on both sides of the football. You love seeing that.
One of those typical, you get those, and they always have them, going back way back for Foothill.
Yes.
You had Mike Wooster, the back of the year. You had Blackford. You had Chuck O'Brien. You had Joey Porter. You had Philip Brown. You had these kids. And then Arvin, you had the same kind of two-way guys. Johnny Rose, Geraldo Ortiz.
Yes. Coach Rose.
These guys that just kind of define what Arvin and Foothill has been about for years and years.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people, you see this game on the calendar, you're like, I don't want to go see that.
Yeah.
And then you get here and you see the level of football that's being played on both sides, and you have to have respect for both programs.
And you got to remember, back in the day, these guys were natural rivals because there was no Miramonte, so the only school basically close to Foothill was Arvin.
Absolutely. That was our longest bus ride for a league game back in the days.
Yeah.
We have another timeout by Foothill, so we'll continue to stay here and just, reflecting on and getting back to Vince, talking about our Renegades. We had a quarterback issue last year. We had guys getting off the plane, coming to start. I was told that we had a kid come in from North Carolina, brother of Harrington, that's been getting some snaps in Wingle. Can you give us a bit of insight on our quarterback situation going into the week?
Yeah, so last year, it was a little tough. The quarterback spot, we struggled a little bit. Played 3 guys throughout the season. This year, we have Wingle back. He gray-shirted last year. He just wanted to pick up the offense a little bit more, the tempo. And with Harrington's brother, our starting safety, his younger brother coming in, it's a great competition, man. And I think that just really woke up Wingle. And we're looking forward to see what he can do this year. We're hoping, I'm hoping, he's a local guy that he comes in and he's our guy.
Gotcha. Foothill getting the 2-point conversion to take the lead as Coach Van Horn gives us a bit of Renegade insight. Foothill goes with the power play, and just like Coach Van Horn called it, will it go for 1? Will it go for 2? As you see, Foothill came here to win. This is their home game, home crowd. Coach, what's your thoughts?
Well, I tell you what, and we talked about this. This is probably the first time in a long time, a year and a half, that Foothill has been ahead in a ball game this late in the game.
Wow.
There might even be a chance this is the first time they've been ahead any time in the last year and a half.
Well, because of how they have those poles over there, I can't get a good read on the scoreboard.
Well, that clock, I don't been stuck on 4:49 there for a while, so.
Absolutely. Nonetheless, 14-13 game, it should be. I can't see the scoreboard, but Foothill with a great drive to answer Arvin's great drive, believing in their philosophy, not getting cute, just power run football.
Yeah. And they didn't throw a pass in that drive.
Hey, you got to love it. Kern High Network football, great football game, non-league battle, Southeast Yosemite League versus South Sequoia League. I got to tell you, I'm impressed with both sides of the football. You haven't seen a lot of basketball on grass, as my coach Parker used to call it, where we're throwing it all over the place.
That's right.
But you're seeing tough inside run football.
Yep.
Great decisions being made by the coaching staff.
That's right. Just sound football. Not a whole lot of penalties. We've had minimal turnovers.
Crucial offsides penalty for Foothill.
Now, we talked about Arvin kicking to Reynolds. I may, second thoughts here. I got Medina back there, who's their best running back, best runner.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a quarterback and running back. I may not want him to have the ball.
I'm definitely not kicking it to.
I'm going to look at some of these other guys and haven't carried the ball in a while and kick it to them.
Excited to see
Yes.
Coach Decker
And-
getting
and
his guys
I
ready.
always tell coaches, it's not rocket science. Don't kick to the fast guy. All right?
Absolutely.
Very simple.
Absolutely. Foothill.
Kick it to those clean jerseys.
Kick it to the clean jersey. Let's see where it goes. And they definitely
They
don't
kicked it-
listen.
Yeah. They kicked it to their guy.
Medina with a head of steam. Still on his feet. Taken down at the 29-yard line, and we'll see.
What he'll play with Skubans. We're going to kick it to him, and we're going to make the tackle.
Wow. Gutsy call by Foothill Special Teams. Coach, we got 4:41 remaining to play. What do you expect to see out of Arvin?
Well, they got plenty of time. You know, they're going to run and pass. They're going to still do what they do. You're going to see a lot of Medina back at quarterback because he's got to give him the option because he can throw the ball.
And just like Coach talked about, they come out in that shotgun, trips.
You're going to see an overload here.
And they go with a swing pass. Great move by Avila.
He wants to get out of bounds if he can. Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
That's all. They stopped the clock. All right.
How about the move by Avila, Coach?
I thought he was going to get stopped there for a minute, but put a good move on and did stop the clock.
Gets out of bounds. Stops the clock. 4:30 remaining to play, and this is a heck of a game, ladies and gentlemen. Arvin, 1st and 10, heading north. Quarterback keeper by Medina.
Get out of bounds if you can. Get out of.
He's still on his feet, but you got a flag.
Great run by Medina. It's just a shame that it looks like it's coming back.
Absolutely. Looks like a hold on the outside edge. And more than anything, you start thinking about time as you approach midfield, but you're feeling like, Arvin, if you make that play, you're going to be in good position. Now you're going 10 yards in the opposite direction,
right.
Coach.
Because all they have to do is get down to field goal, field goal position. For them, it might be down to about the 15. We've seen their field goal kicker. He's had some struggles.
Definitely some struggles. The penalty is going to make it 1st and 15. Clock is moving, 3:53.
Medina's going to be a little winded after that run.
Yes, he is. Oh, and they go for the seam pass. Ooh. Great call by the coach, as they haven't ran a lot of downfield passing plays.
Junior Cassis there, number 8. I don't think he was even looking for the ball there.
And that's one of the things that hurts you as a team that doesn't prepare to throw the ball down the field. Your timing just isn't there.
Yeah.
He had no idea where that ball was.
That's right.
And now you're behind on downs because you had the penalty.
Yep.
You're
chasing the chains now. You're chasing the chains.
Chasing the chains. 2nd and 15. Medina with the RPO keeps it. Medina is a stud, breaks a tackle, crosses midfield, taken down at the 40, and this kid's a superstar. 2nd and 15.
Like we were talking about, plenty of time on the clock to work this ball down.
Absolutely, and great call by Coach Mars. You know, when you get down into these moments about winning the game, you have to put the ball in your best player's hands.
That's right. That's the bottom line. Right now, that's Medina.
Great defensive tackle on the inside. Love to get that number by one of the smallest guys on the field, number 23.
Cuevas.
Jeff Cuevas with the huge hit.
Good stop for Foothill.
on that inside run play.
You know, we got to consider Cuevas in there, too, is that
Absolutely.
player of the game.
Cuevas just came in and made an impact in the second half. 2nd and 9. Medina in the shotgun. They're going Medina outside. Great tackle.
Now we're talking about setting the edge there, not letting Medina outside. Antonio Salazar did a great job there.
Great job by Salazar. 3rd and 7 for Arvin, maybe 6.
Maybe the biggest play of the game right here.
Absolutely, because Arvin hasn't done a great job protecting the quarterback. You don't see him throwing it down the field, but we've just seen Medina, who has to be gassed right now.
Yeah.
You know, after that long run to get the last first down, what do you call? Oh, and they go with the
and
run.
That's Cuevas.
Cuevas.
Just talking about him.
Excellent job by Cuevas.
You know, Coach, you talk about impact players making impact plays.
That's right.
Definitely doing that.
Remember, we used to always say big-time players making big-time plays in big-time games.
Absolutely, and this is a big game for both of these teams coming off of a winless week.
All right, 4th down and 10. Here we go.
This is the game for the Arvin Bears. And you definitely – oh, and it's complete. Oh, and you got a late flag. You got a late flag after Medina.
Looks like it's going to be against Arvin.
An eligible receiver downfield on the biggest play of the game.
Wow.
Coach.
Medina's best pass of the night gets called back, and now it's going to bring a 4th and about 15 here.
Wow, and Coach, just like we just talked about 2 plays ago,
yeah.
When you run so much run-heavy offense, when it's time to pass, when you need to,
yeah,
the chemistry is just off.
Yeah.
You got linemen down the field, but nonetheless, 4th and 15, biggest play of the game. Medina throwing the fade. You got one. Oh, a great play. Oh, and that's a flag. Looks like a wow, and they called PI, and I don't know. I think they got there simultaneously. That's a tough call by one guy who used to be one of the best DBs in college football. I'm not going to say his name. Coach, didn't you coach that guy? Wow.
Well, I tell you what, Foothill has to do a better job. It was 4th and 15, and you let a receiver get behind you.
Yes.
You know that's the number 1 cardinal rule as a DB.
Absolutely, especially you have to know situational football.
That's right.
1st and 10 for Arvin with new life, and they go reverse, and they got the edge. Great tackle by number 21. We don't even have his name on the roster, but he may have just saved Foothill's game. And if you're the Arvin Bears, you got to think that you just crossed in the field goal position.
Like I said, they need to get to about the 15 to have a chance to kick a field goal.
48 seconds remaining to play. Medina, and it looks like is that a flag that we have?
I think we're going to have an offsides on Foothill. 21, who's not on the roster, playing press man, lined up offsides.
Wow, huge, what we call coach killer penalties.
Yeah.
You know, my kids always joke with me about having gray hair. Coach, this is why we got them. Those kind of plays right there. Game on the line, and you give a team 5 more yards towards field goal position.
On just a mental mistake.
On a pre-snap penalty. 2nd and about 4 for Arvin. Medina and shotgun. And they go with the pop pass, and it's picked off. It's picked off by Foothill after the tip. How about that? Interception, Foothill. And it looks like My frat brother Leonard Nevels in his defense just won a football game for a team that went 0-10 last year, Coach.
Looked like Evan Gallegos makes that pick.
How about that? So as we start talking about our player of the game, I think my whole brain just shifted. Because what we just had there was a defense that didn't give up after multiple penalties. It made a play, and I think the guy that got the hand on the ball was your number 24.
Diaz.
I think Diaz got a hand on that ball. I could be wrong. Huge defensive play.
Oh. I don't understand that timeout, but.
Coach, I got to say this. Arvin, you got 1st and 10 right after some questionable interaction.
Yeah.
And you try to surprise him with the pop pass.
Yeah.
It cost the team a football game.
Well, Foothill did a much better job than they did on the play before when they picked up the PI. You know, you got one job to do as a DB, especially in this situation. Don't get beat deep.
Absolutely. You know, Coach, well, I got to be honest. We got 38 seconds left. You know, talking player of the game.
Well,
I got to ask you for your vote first.
All right.
Then I'll go
I tell you, Medina played a hell of a game.
He did.
The Arvin quarterback. The Arvin quarterback / punt returner, kickoff returner, tailback. Hell of a game.
Woo.
But
heck of a game.
I'm going to have to go with number 24.
Coach, Dr. J. So
I'm have to go with Brian Diaz.
Coach went with Brian Diaz. You went with Brian Diaz. I have to go with Brian Diaz for the way he affected the game on both sides of the football, leading Foothill High to their first victory in over 500 calendar days.
And there were some other candidates. You know, Cuevas played a heck of a game.
Definitely.
Deloney. I'll get that down. I got 2 more years.
we got a couple years, huh? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our broadcast. I want to thank everybody who joined us for Kern High Network Football for Arvin versus Foothill. It definitely was a great game. Coach, I got to thank you for everything you've done for me in my life. You know, I wouldn't be here standing here without you. You know, the leadership and quality that you've given us put us in a position to do great things like call this game, and I'm forever grateful to be in your presence.
Well, it's my pleasure.
This has been Kenny Calvin and Vance Palm. We want to thank Kern Schools, Kern High Network, Bakersfield College, and Motor City. We will see you next week. Foothill defeats Arvin Bears in the non-league battle. We are about to go down and give Brian
Diaz.
Brian Diaz, our player of the game, Kern High Network player of the game. Congratulations.